You know, my car's not running right, and it seems like it's just banging on the bottom, and it doesn't have a very good feel. Well, you might need struts. So this is a strut. It's right behind your tire here, and it connects to the top of the car. Some struts have a spring on top of them, which is called a coilover, because the coil is above the strut. Some struts don't have this, and it's just the strut, and the coil might be over here on the other side of the car. Or you might have a shock here with a coil or spring on the side. But today we're going to be taking the struts out of an E46 BMW. So the first thing we need to do is disconnect everything. There's a bolt right here that you have to take out. Mine's a 19. Once you take this out, you see where it pinches here and comes through. The strut will be able to move up and out. You have to take out this sway bar link. There's a bolt right here. It's a 15. Once you disconnect this from the strut will be free. There's a small plate right here that has your ABS sensor and some other things, sensors on it. Mine was actually, some cars use different, so I didn't need this one, but I needed these two for mine. So this is actually connected with this 19 bolt. Once you take this 19 bolt off, this is going to move out of the way. You're going to disconnect this 15 here, and you're going to move this out of the way. Then you're going to be free on the bottom. Then up here, where the plate is, you're going to have to come on the top of the car and remove these 3 13s. Take them off, and this strut will fall down. Now, sometimes with different cars, you might have to loosen up another part or take something else. I don't see any trailing arms on this car in the front, so I think this is a pretty steady, pretty straightforward. So usually your tire will be like this when you're taking the strut out. And when you undo the top, this whole unit will come lean forward. I would have imagined taking the tire off before you do the strut, but I'm already taking the whole suspension out, everything in one unit. So once the tire is off, you're just going to see the spindle here. When you disconnect this and bring this down, this will fall forward this way because it's disconnected from the top. So pull this out. You might have to crack this open a little bit, spread this a little bit with a spread bar hammer, but make sure you get this bolt out before you do it, because you're not doing anything but damaging your equipment. So always make sure that you're doing the proper thing, using the proper safety equipment, and doing things correctly. So if you ever see like liquid on your strut, it means it's leaking, or there's rust hole, or it's busted through, or this thing's called the bump stop. You see how disgusting it is? This is supposed to stop the car from bottoming out, but you can see how damaged the bump stop is. The struts are still good, but these bump stops need to be replaced. In almost every car I've ever seen over 5 years old, they're rotten. And then this is the protector boot for that. And you can see that the protector boot is pretty beat up itself as well. So these struts are good. We're going to use them on another BMW, and they're KYBs, aftermarkets. I think they just put on the old sleeve and the old bump stop here, but the strut is very good. Now, just when you get the new strut, you make sure you put it in the bottom first, slide it all the way down till it stops. It'll stop itself. There's a part on here. This piece is actually bigger than this round piece down here. So when you slide it down in, it'll stop here on the spindle, on the strut catch. Put it down, bolt this in. I wouldn't bolt it in as tight as it goes, but make sure to put this piece in so that if you have some problems or some trouble getting it in the top, you can just take this bolt back out. It's not under a lot of pressure. Once you get everything, this new strut in, then I would push it up to the top and connect the 3 bolts up top first. The 1, 2, 3, mine are 13s. Mostly I think they would be 13s on the BMW, but if someone's changed yours, they could be a different. Always check your owner's manual and do your own due diligence to make sure of what yours are. And once everything's good and your strut looks great in, then I would reconnect the sway bar link into the strut tower here, and there you are. Make sure to tighten this to spec, and make sure to tighten this to spec. Always look in your owner's manual or look up online how to tighten these up and what torque it is. I like to look it up twice to compare, because some people say, oh, it's 48, and other people say it's 50, because 50 is easier to remember than 48, so it's just rounded off. If I see one that's 50, one that's 48, I'll just do 49 in the middle, or I'll call BMW directly and ask them, and they'll help you out. So this is how you change a strut on the E46 BMW. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and I will get to you directly on how to change it. Once I take the strut out of the vehicle, I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what the strut looks like out of the car, still attached, so we can go over it. So this is the bolt on the bottom that holds the sleeve in. When you disconnect this bolt and pull it through here, you're going to take this plate off that holds this little bit of wiring for your ABS and for your brake line, your brake line hose. So the brake line will go into this. You don't have to disconnect this, but I took it out. So you want to take this plate off, unbolt this so that this will come out, and then you're going to take off this tie rod link here. So there's the bolt here for the tie rod link. Take that bolt off, take the tie rod link out. These are the 3 bolts on the top. With the top plate. This one seems to have the plate, and the plate is bolted on here. So if this is bad, or this has a bad bushing, you can just take this plate off with this bolt and then put a new plate on here. If you're going to replace the whole thing, like if you get an aftermarket coilover or whatever, I would get an aftermarket plate as well. Some of them are adjustable. And you see this has the little Allen in it, so you can stick an Allen in here and stick something down in there to take it off. I would take this off with the gun, because it just seems like it's a lot easier to rip this off, so you don't have to mess with it. But this is what the strut looks like outside of the vehicle. So when you buy a strut and coilover, it should come with the coil already on the strut. I don't know, some cars you can buy just the strut and the coils are still good. Then you're gonna have to compress this, it's a little dangerous, and then put this back on the new strut. So this is what the strut looks like outside of the vehicle. And this is the chamber we took it out of here. Those were the 3 top nuts that came through, and that main nut that was here. And that's how to change the strut. Just go backwards and put it back in. Thanks for coming to Sterling Kreationz. So you guys see what the front looks like, even though, okay, I'm gonna do this over. I can't get a video in without these guys being on TV, man. You guys.